You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. There you go. You weren't dancing to my theme tune.
I was having a little dance.
I was dancing to the theme tune, and then I realized I didn't hit the go
camera.
live button. Hello, everybody. We are live. Welcome to 15 Minutes for Accountants and Bookkeepers with me, Ashley Leeds, and the lovely Amy Spillard. How the devil are you?
Good afternoon. I'm very well, thank you, Ashley. Lovely to be here.
It's great. It's great to have you. I'm chuffed that I'm your old pal.
You're my very old pal.
Thank you for that.
We go way back. I did not mean that you were.
I know. I knew you didn't. How far back do we go? Because it's been a while, hasn't it?
A good few years now,
Yeah.
which is mind blowing. But I think you were one of the very first people that I spoke to when I started way back when with Senta. So
Cool.
So yeah, pleasure to be here.
And we're still friends, which is lovely.
We are, yeah. Hanging on.
and so a little bit of background for people watching. I used to work for a company where we were competitors with Senta, so I've got a soft spot for Senta. And it's lovely to see you growing, and goodness knows what else. I've got a question that's even not on the list, so
oh God,
I'm gonna ask you straight away.
You promised not to blindside me.
Let's just start the interview as I mean to go on
with the hard-hitting question.
It's been 12 months since Iris. Was it since you started partnering with Iris? How's it going?
Exactly. Well, just over a year now. So January, I think it was a year for us. So it's good. I think naturally it's taken a little bit of time for everything to settle, both I guess like personally for each of the team in their roles, but also for the business to kind of find its feet really. And it's funny because when we were first acquired, Iris said, you know, nothing's going to change and you're going to find it really strange and you're going to come to us and say, like, I thought we were acquired. What's happening? What's happening? And that was very true. I think for the first kind of 6, maybe even to 10 months, we were left kind of totally business as usual, which has been lovely, kind of give us a little bit of time to settle and so on. And now it's really starting to kind of ramp up, and we're absolutely kind of part of the Iris family now, and starting to grow and to do big things, which is wonderful.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. That is lovely to hear. And I can remember at the time there was a lot of talk going on, and there were a few people shouting nasty things and stuff like that. We won't even go down that road. But here we are 12 months later. You're still smiling. You're still there. The Senta product is brilliant. You've got a lot of fans. I do a lot of work with the Six-Figure Bookkeeper, and a lot of those people are using your products as well. So absolutely superb. I don't know if you know this guy, but he's just come on and said hello. So hi, Harish. Thanks for coming in. We love comments. We love people coming in. So if you've got any questions for either of us, but it's Amy's show today, please drop a question in the box. So very first question then. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So head of partnerships here at Senta, so Bristol based, which is a lovely part of the UK. By nature, just like very sociable, as you well know, Ashley. Could chat for hours, which I guess helps being in a partnerships job. But also just extremely active, like can't sit still for too long, basically. So always doing something like travel, sports, that type of thing. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm probably sat in the pub somewhere.
Brilliant. Do you know Harry? Has Harry just joined Iris, as in purchased the software, or is he a new colleague?
Not a new colleague that I know of. But,
right, okay.
But
hi, Harry.
Harry, if you are.
It looks like everybody with a name similar to Harry or Harish are joining us today. So if there's any other Harrys or whatever, just come and say hi. So, what is it you actually do? And tell us a little bit about Senta.
Yeah, of course.
For those that don't know.
Yeah, of course. So Senta is practice management software for accountants and bookkeepers. So essentially like a CRM and a workflow tool designed to be that kind of one-stop shop for everything that you need to manage your clients and your practice. So I guess our area of expertise is workflow and automation, and making sure that nothing like slips through the gaps really. And my role within the team is head of partnerships. So like I said, extremely sociable, which I love, and designed to be kind of that go-between, I guess, between our clients and understanding what's working well in the product, what more they'd love to see from us, and making sure that we partner with the right kind of brands, whether that is software providers, influencers, kind of key names in the industry like yourself, Ashley, people, I guess, ultimately that we know, that we love, that we trust, that we want to kind of align our brand with really. So those partnerships take so many different forms, which is just a lovely thing to be involved with, very creative.
No, it's a great role. It really is a great role because you get to see both sides of everything, don't you? And I guess, do you end up like an agony aunt?
Yes, because like I said, you have to really kind of get under the skin of, you know, how our clients are finding things, not just with Senta, but within the industry in general, and you know where those pain points are, how they want softwares to connect, what they love, what they don't love, and I think what's hard is, you know, there isn't always an instant fix, and particularly in the partnership space, that can take, you know, a good few years to design the right thing and to get that launched in the right way. So I guess a bit of an agony aunt and kind of managing those expectations and finding the right partners to kind of solve those problems really.
No, brilliant. I've worked for software companies, and you go and you chat to the guys that do the developing, and you sort of like think, oh, you can just do that, can you? It's only a button. And
Yeah.
the looks you get or the slaps you get are hilarious.
The daggers, yeah. Exactly. Yes.
It's our friend Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Okay, so you've been working for accountants with accountants and bookkeepers all the time you've been with Senta. Were you doing that before you came to Senta?
I wasn't, no. So have a SaaS background, so always worked with cloud-based software, which obviously really helps. And in the past, a bit more product based roles, I guess. So working at Senta was the first time that I started working with accountants and bookkeepers. So been doing that for a couple of years now, and safe to say, just the loveliest, just nicest clients to chat to. Of any of the jobs I've had, just so kind of open and genuine and happy to help each other. So just a really nice space to be involved with.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in this space for 15 years, Amy, and that's why I've developed this show, is to actually help you know, these guys, because yeah, but they all like helping each other, which is brilliant.
It's just so heartwarming to be a part of.
So what challenges are you seeing them have at the moment, Amy?
Yeah, so we were just having a little bit of a chat before this, and I think one of the key things that we're seeing come in very recently over the last few weeks is the challenges that accountants and bookkeepers are facing around AML, and it's a tricky area to navigate.
AML, we can't use jargon here. Anti-money laundering, isn't that?
Exactly. Yeah? Exactly. So all the initial know your customer checks that as an accountant or a bookkeeper you are required to do before you take on any work for them. And there are so many different softwares that can help with that part of the process. So making sure that those people aren't politically exposed, that they haven't been involved in any dodgy activity before you take on work for them, all of that good stuff basically. And like I say, the regulation around AML can be quite hard to navigate and quite hard to understand. And because of the fines that are associated with getting it wrong, and obviously the compliance risks, there's a lot of nervousness around getting it right and how to get it right. And I think off the back of the recent HMRC audits, we've seen a big increase in kind of the requests for help around that type of area. So I think for us as a company, over the next few months, kind of really stepping up in how we can help our accountants and bookkeepers in that space, really.
So what's your current solution then, Amy?
Exactly. So when you take Senta out of the box, it comes with a bunch of workflows and services that help guide you through different parts of your accounting practice, and onboarding is one of those. So we've got a pre-designed checklist that will kind of take you through onboarding that client, and that's not just AML, that's all of your other kind of setup bits and bobs. But then we've got an AML check function within Senta that will help you check their ID, those things like their address, their date of birth, and it will flag if there's any kind of AML risk there associated with that client. But then I guess all of your automation stuff. So Senta will help remind you in a year's time to check things like their ID, if their passport has expired. It prompts you to redo those checks, whether it's every 6 months, 12 months, and so on. So making sure that none of that stuff really falls through the gaps.
So if I take on a new client today, it's 12 months from today, not the 1st of January next year.
Exactly.
Right,
and that
okay.
will depend on the risk. If they're a high risk client, then you'll be required to do that check more frequently. So whether it's 3 months or 6 months.
And Senta will turn around and tell me in 3 months' time that I've got to check this high risk client again.
Exactly. So you can build all of that within the system.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. So you are holding the hand of our accountants and bookkeepers. Super duper.
Exactly.
Because and you sort of like think my business is pretty straightforward, and I don't have to do anti-money laundering checks and stuff like that. But yeah, I can imagine it's super complex, and you get the different bodies involved and stuff like that. We've got a question in from Nigel. Let's see what Nigel's got to say. What makes Senta stand out from their rivals, Amy? Because Amy works there, Nigel. Come on.
Well,
that's good enough. That's it. That's the answer. You don't need to say any more.
That's one of the reasons, but also I think it comes down to we understand there's a whole suite of solutions out there, and each of them have have areas that they exceed in, and Senta's is 100% its customization and flexibility. We provide you with a starting point, so it's absolutely plug and play if you want it to be. But the thing that makes Senta stand out is how much you can bespoke it to your own practice. So it works around everything that you've got already, whether that's other softwares, your processes, your services. You can build Senta so that it works exactly the way that you need it to. And that's not just at a practice level, that's at a user level. So if one of your staff members works in a really particular way, Senta can support that, and it can also support, the really unique way that you work. So that's, I think, where we stand out from the rest.
Yeah, no, and I'll endorse that, Nigel, because I've been in this space before previously. So with Digita, and then our competition to yourselves. Every single practice has their own way of doing things. It's not like you're running a business where you make Victoria sandwich cakes, and so all you do is follow Mary Berry's recipe and you can make a Victoria sandwich cake. That doesn't work, and everybody is so unique. And I think the beauty of the flexibility makes it good. The biggest problem of that is because you've got so much flexibility, it can be daunting, and that's why you've got your out of the box model as well. And you said out of the box, and I can't imagine you actually grabbing hold of Senta out of a box, like you get a new iPhone or something. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So Nicola's got something to say. Took her a long time to get it set up and working, but she couldn't do without it now. And this is the one thing that I used to get when I was working in software, Amy, is making sure you set it up properly. So how do you help accountants and bookkeepers set up their software properly?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes back to, one of the main challenges that we see as a company. And I think, bringing people around to that way of thinking, that the more time that you invest in the beginning, although that can be a little bit painful and, like you say, a little bit daunting, the more you pay in at the beginning, the more you're going to get out of Senta in the long run. So in terms of how we help our practices with that, number one, and honestly, I talk about this so much, but it's get your processes nailed before you even look at a software such as Senta. So, use something like pen and paper, an Excel spreadsheet, get everything out of your head down so that you can understand exactly how you want it to work, so that when you come to something like Senta, all of that's crystal clear. You can just work through it really methodically, exactly, post-it notes, the way forward, get them up on the wall. And then you can either sit down with Senta, our wonderful support team can take what you've built in a spreadsheet or on paper, and they can get that into the system exactly the way that you need it to work.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you noticed, I've put on the screen my strap line, because with software you do get out what you put in, and you put rubbish in, you get rubbish out, and that's the thing. And the amount of meetings that I've had to go to with people that have bought our software in the past and help them re-put it in. I went to one practice, right, and I turned up. This is no lie. I turned up. And the lady at the front desk turned around and said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm from XYZ company." And what are you doing here? I said, "Well, I've come to do training on the new software that you've just had installed." "Oh, really? What software?" Oh my goodness. And I just knew from that it was never going to work, because nobody was invested in it. You know, the boss has turned around and said, "We're having this new software," but the boss hadn't told anybody else. And you know, we were on a hiding to nothing. There was just no way we were ever going to get there. So I think you're quite right there. It's all about doing the right things first,
and bringing people along with you on that journey as well. Like you said, you know, if you have an input as a team member, it might not be your practice. You're a member of staff that's going to have to use that system every single day, so it needs to work for you. So as a practice manager, making sure that you bring the rest of the team along on that journey, and you know, they're putting their processes down in the same way that you are, because they're gonna need to love it every day, because they're the ones that are using it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I've known of places where the boss has turned around and said, "This is the software we're having, you know, no ifs, no buts, that's it, like it or lump it," and then wonders why the staff revolt. And
exactly.
You know, it's absolutely crackers. Richard's not going to be buying your software, apparently. He's into post-it notes. He's not an accountant or a bookkeeper, though, so I guess
we'll let you
probably not going to suit him. Good to see you, Richard. Thanks for coming along. So what's your top tip for accountants right at this moment in time then?
I think, like I was saying before, it can be overwhelming in this space. The number of new shiny products and softwares and, you know, coaching groups and things. There's so much in the market at the moment, and it's trying to kind of cut through that. And I understand how overwhelming that can be. So again, you know, not even just thinking about your systems, just thinking about how you want your practice to work, what your end goals are, making sure that that's all so super clear and written down somewhere will help you navigate the overwhelming number of like products and services that are available out there, and just take that pressure off, and make sure that you've got the time and kind of that big picture to make the right choice, really, whether that's practice management or another solution. So that's my advice all the time, is get everything out of your head onto a piece of paper.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just come from a NatWest Business Accelerator call, so I'm part of the NatWest Business Accelerator, and it's been absolutely incredible.
Nice.
And so we were talking today about employing a team and stuff like that, and everybody talked about processes. And literally coming out of that, what I'll do is I'll actually say next week, because we've nearly run out of time. Can you believe that? But next week I have got this guy coming. Where is he? He's here somewhere. There he is. I've got Glenn Foster. He's going to come and tell us all about his new job and his new company that he's working for. But I've just had to create this slide thing. And so what I did is I videoed how I did it. So I've now got a process so that somebody can now do it. And I think that's the thing. When you run your own business, because it's only me doing it, it doesn't matter. But now I've got a process for doing that, and I've recorded it, and that's the way it's going to be.
And you've got that time, you've got that luxury at the moment, because that will quickly snowball as your business just takes off. All of a sudden, you haven't got the time, and you've got, you know, new team members starting, and you think, God, I wish I'd, you know, got all of that down. So absolutely doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Transparency with your team and working with them, not having them to work for you, makes a huge difference. Absolutely, Odessa, and this question's not on the sheet. I'm sorry, Amy, but the thing is, right, I'm running this business, right? I'm running this accountancy practice, and it's a complete mess. Nobody knows what they're doing. I've got staff running around like headless chickens. All right, I've just seen you on this show with that guy, and I think, oh, Senta, that's the answer. So if I buy Senta, it's going to solve all my problems. And it doesn't, does it? That's
As
the
much as I would
problem.
love to say yes, yeah, I think it's absolutely that. It's getting the team together, sitting down, workshopping this type of stuff, because you're right, so much is going to live in not just your head but the rest of your team members' heads. So sitting down, getting everything on paper so that you can decide, is Senta the right product for you? If it is, that's wonderful, and then you've got a really good starting place to build it in the right way to help you. But I think you're right, expecting a silver bullet or this software to come in to fix all of this chaos. I think we see a lot of that, and it's not always the answer. It's making sure that it's built in the right way to help your practice grow and succeed. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Are you going to be at Accountex?
I will be, yes,
You
indeed, along
will
with
be, and will you be
the
there
rest.
with
I'll
your
be there.
team? And are
I
you
will
going
be
to
there
have
with a big-
you're going to have two stands? Or you're just going to have one big whacking great big huge stand?
We're going to have a whopping great Irish stand with a number of the different Irish products, but there will be a number of the Senta team there. So please do come and say hi, because we love that. We love seeing everyone and having a good catch up.
Fantastic. And have you worked out what your what do they call them? Your treats or whatever you call it, your just swag. Have you worked what out?
The freebies. I'm not
Yeah.
privy to that information, no. But
I was hoping for an exclusive, Amy.
Whenever I find out, I'll let you know. But hopefully it'll be something good.
Because I've got a water bottle that I use. I'm sorry, a flask that I use regularly, and that's got Receipt Bank on it, and they have changed their name. And I've got a hat with Practice Ignition on it, and they've changed their name as well. So
you're a little bit out of date. So you have
absolutely.
to do a good old swag run.
I'm definitely going to have to pop up, aren't I?
You are.
What's the best story that you've got that you've helped an accountant or a bookkeeper?
Absolutely. So I guess the nature of my role, quite often I'm indirectly helping our practices via partnerships. So when I do get the chance to speak one-on-one with our practices, that's just that's lovely to see on the ground, how they're getting on. And you mentioned the six-figure bookkeeper. As you know, Jo Wood's got her own practice that she runs. God knows how she fits it all in, but she does a wonderful job. And we spent a good week or two together, myself, Jo, and the rest of the team, doing exactly what I've spoken about today, getting their whole practice processes onto paper, and kind of really going through that with a fine-tooth comb, building that into Senta so that Jo actually doesn't have to touch it anymore. She doesn't have to go into Senta, which is the ideal because it's running her practice. All of her team are using it flawlessly, and that's exactly what our aim is. So that's my personal highlight, I think, for helping our practices.
No, fantastic. Love that. Oh, actually, I don't know if you can see the comments there. Elizabeth has actually got written down what's coming. Wait and see. Elizabeth, that's not funny. I want to know. So, okay. How can people get hold of you, Amy?
Absolutely. So LinkedIn. Thank you for all of your help there, Ashley. Much more of a presence on LinkedIn, thank you. My email, so amy.spillard@senta.co. Or if you're wanting some help with Senta, then please do just pop a note to our support team, which is support@senta.co. And obviously the website and all of that good stuff. So numerous ways to get in touch.
Fantastic. Right. One last question. Okay. What did you want to be? No, you know the question.
Okay.
You know the question. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were at primary school?
I used to love playing librarian, funnily enough. Just my poor younger brother, I'd make him check in and check out books that we owned. So I haven't quite got there just yet. Maybe when I'm about 80 or 90, I'm like,
you wanted to be a librarian. That's so cute. A librarian.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you read much?
I read a lot. Yes. Yeah.
Do you read business books?
I don't read business books.
Oh, right. Okie dokie. What's your current novel you got on the go at the moment then?
I'm reading one by Susanna Clarke called Piranesi, which is in like the top 10, which it's wonderful. Really, really good. Recommended.
Excellent. Amy, you have been an absolutely delightful guest. I knew you would be.
Love having a chat with you.
Have fun at Accountex and keep doing what you're doing. I'm just hearing great stuff from Senta, so keep up the good work, and you know that because there's been lots of lovely comments. Thank you everybody for all your wonderful comments today. I hope we've helped you. If anyone's got any quick questions, bang them in now, because we are going to go. This is the longest 15 minutes ever, isn't it? I do apologize.
I'm so sorry. It is pushing on half an hour,
fine.
but
Absolutely fine.
we love to chat.
Yeah, guys, thanks very much. Amy, you've been a star. Thank you. Cheerio.
Thanks for having me. Cheers,
Bye-bye,
Ashley.
everybody.